Okay, so let's start. Today we'll discuss about EBS block storage, elastic block storage. EBS is nothing but elastic block storage, where we have multiple types of EBS volumes we have under this elastic block store when we are creating a volume. So let me create a volume. While creating, we will see what is the volumes available. So if you see here, general purpose SSD is there, provisioned IOPS is there, and cold HDD, throughput optimized, and magnetic standard. These are comes under magnetic. These three comes under HDD all comes under magnetic. So let me show you one example. Okay, spindle disk. Okay, images. If you see this one spindle disk, what will happen? So this all magnetic will be screen share avleda. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So we have multiple types of volumes here. So in this volumes, first let us see what is these three. So called HDD, and generally we have two types of disks. Okay, we will see what are those. So we have two types of EBS volumes disks available. So one is SSD and HDD, solid state drive, hard disk drive. Okay, if you see here, first we will take GP2 and GP2 general purpose in this one. Okay, so GP2. Okay, 3000. Next, coming to the IO1. 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 Okay, so if you compare here, so IOPS, here we are getting a baseline, but okay, before going to that, IOPS, input output reads per second. So whenever we are reading or writing any data into our volumes, a volume is nothing but, in general, if you speak about our laptop, we have C drive, right? C drive, D drive, what are the drives we have? That is we are calling in terms of AWS EBS volume. So in this volume, we have multiple types of volumes is there. Okay, in that one we have multiple types of offerings is there. Let us assume GP2. Here we have minimum 1 GB we can create and maximum up to 16 terabytes we can create. So in GP2 we can go minimum 1 terabyte 1 GB, maximum we can go with 16 terabytes of EBS volume. Our disk we can go. And if you see here, here I have chosen 100 GB. That is the reason it is giving 300 per 3000 IOPS. That means per each GB we are getting baseline of 3 IOPS per GB with a minimum of 100 IOPS burstable to 3000 IOPS. If you choose 330, see 100 is minimum. 100 is minimum. If you choose below that also 20 also, you will get 100 only your IOPS. Okay, here we are getting the minimum IOPS is 100 IOPS for less than 30 or 30 GB. if you are, it's like there are some requirements will be there from some clients. So I want only 10 terabytes of data. I want to use 10 TB. I need to use 10 TB. Okay, I want to use 10 terabytes, but I need to use somewhere around 40,000 IOPS I need to use. Okay, then what is the use case here? What is the use case? Okay, here again, if you see here, they are telling if you choose 5,000, that means 5 TB, up to 5 TB, up to 5 TB, you will get maximum of 16,000 IOPS. Even if you take 10,000 also, we will get 10,000 IOPS only, 16,000 IOPS only. Then what we will assume, if we need if we have any requirement like 10 terabytes, then we need to, okay, so assume my client is having a requirement of requirement, come on, okay. So Anand, today we are discussing about EBS volumes. So there we are just started. Okay. So my client is having a requirement of 10 terabytes. Okay, 10 terabytes of volume he want, and somewhere around he need some 20,000 IOPS. Okay, 20,000 IOPS he need. IOPS is nothing but input output reads per second. Okay, just this volume is nothing but our general um general disk, CD's card read disk. Okay, this is what we are discussing. And assume, if you see here, I taken 10,000 mean 10 terabytes of volume I have created, I'm creating. So for this one I'm getting maximum IOPS is 16,000 only. If I take 5,000, I mean 5 terabytes also, 5 triple 3 also, I am getting 16,000 IOPS. Approximately I'm getting 16,000 IOPS. So if I am taking single disk as a 10 terabytes, I'm not getting 16,000. Okay, so this case, if we take 10 terabytes also, our read rate per seconds is very less. So that is the reason we need to take here multiple disks. So multiple disks we need to take, again multiple replication, this and all we need to do it. So multiple disks we need to take here. So based on our use case, we need to consider which volume type is better. Okay, so in the same case, if you choose any provisioned IOPS, but provisioned IOPS is like very costlier, and it will support, it will general purpose is supporting from 1 GB to maximum 16 terabytes. If you see the provisioned IOPS, minimum is 4 terabytes, 4 GB, maximum is 16 terabytes. You need to take minimum is 4 GB. So now here we don't have, I mean in general purpose we don't have any control of IOPS selection. If you choose same thing in provisioned IOPS, okay, what is the disk you need? 10 terabytes. Okay, 10 terabytes. Now what is the IOPS he required? 20,000. Yes, we can choose as depend as per our requirement, as per our requirement. Like here maximum we can go up to 64,000 IOPS per second. We will choose this one. Okay, that is the flexibility we have. But until unless if is there any specific requirement, then only we need to use provisioned IOPS, or else this provisioned IOPS is more costlier than I think it is double or thrice of general purpose. The volume type determines the performance characteristics of the volume. Choose the volume type that meets your needs. Yes, that is as per our requirement. We need to use our VBS volume types. Okay, we'll see. Okay, this throughput. Um, Before going to throughput, so these volumes we are using, right? Yeah, depending upon the database. Assume you are having more reads and writes for your database. More reads is there. If you want to perform parallel queries, you want to read and write, you need to do the parallel multiple tasks you need to do. That time provisioned IOPS is more suitable for the database. So your database is not responding quickly, your performance also will reduce. Yes, as I mentioned, solid state drives is there, hard disk drive is there. Okay, so in again solid state drive we have general purpose and provision IOPS. Solid state drives we have what is the generation general purpose GP2 and GPT3. GPT is previous, GPT3 is the latest generation one. And here IO1 was there earlier. Now they have introduced IO2 and IO2 Express also they have given. Okay, and the failure rate is very less in the IO3 Express. So use case where we need to use general purpose and where we will use this one provisioned apps. So low latency interactive appliance, any development and testing, even for production also we will use this IO1, but depending upon our performance and our requirement we will use GP2 or IO1. So workloads that requires sub milliseconds, not also millisecond, it's a sub millisecond latency. Here there you don't want to wait for to get the data from your data from application to database. You don't want to wait for seconds or milliseconds. Then you need to sub milliseconds. Then you need to use these provisioned IOPS and sustained IOPS performance more than 64,000 IOPS. Like here we have our own defined IOPS we have. Like whatever the IOPS rate we need to, that we can define here. Yes, this one already we saw. Next comes to the hard disk drives, HDD, hard disk drives. In HDD again we have three types. One is that magnetic is I think it is going to be in previous generation and they are going to be removed from this one. So that is the reason we have like they have segregated a cold HDD and throughput optimized HDD, where we need to use cold HDD and throughput optimized HDD. Cold HDD, and if you see here, these both are very cheaper cost. Cold HDD and HDD, throughput optimized HDD, very cheaper. Cold HDD is like our data warehouses will be there, right? Our godowns will be there in our areas, same like this. So if you want to store the data and you don't want to worry about the data just for storing purpose, then go and use this cold HDD. The lowest cost HDD design for less frequently access workloads. That's what, right? If you are keeping in our godown daily, we can't go and get it back. So whenever is there any requirement or quarterly thrice or like that, monthly once or twice, we'll go and we'll get the data from that godown. I mean goods. The same way here also we will use. So these are the codes. These are the code they are given for that one. You don't want to remember this and all. You just remember this name. So in interviews they will ask what are the different types of EBS volumes. So you need to explain first what is the storage volumes. If they ask, you need to explain instance store volume and EBS volume. And if they ask about what is the different types of EBS volumes is there, in that one you need to explain we have two types. One is SDD and HDD. Under SDD we are getting general purpose and provisioned IOPS. Provisioned IOPS will use for low latency and database purpose. And coming to this one, HDD we have throughput optimized and cold HDD. And you can see here this is volume size. Minimum is 125 GB, maximum is 16 terabytes. Same, both are the same. This is throughput optimized big data or any data warehouse and log processing. And cold HDD scenarios where the lowest storage cost is important, very cheaper cost here. Okay, and let's go here. We will see cold HDD. Okay, see here there is no IOPS not applicable. Here IOPS is not applicable. Okay, whatever the size you choose, either 500 or 1000. Okay, IOPS is not applicable. Whatever the speed they are giving, standard speed, that only you need to use it. Throughput optimized also there is no IOPS not applicable. Okay, and yes, this and EBS volumes you can create directly or we can create with the help of any existing snapshot also. Okay, magnetic there is no not applicable any throughput or any IOPS. Okay, previous generation volume, yes, yeah, I think they have mentioned magnetic is under previous generation. Okay, this is not going to be used anymore. Okay, volume type is standard. Use case workloads where data is infrequently accessed, and this also 1 GB to only 1 terabytes. Okay, boot volume means this magnetic volume we can use at the time of boot. That means whenever we are starting the our instances. If you see here, if you see this one, this both HDD disks, it is not supported whenever we are creating our instance. That means boot volume means nothing but our root volume. Whenever we are creating our EC2 mission, I think yesterday also we saw today also we see now. Let me create one instance. There we will find whether we will able to get this HDD disks while creating or not. So come on, launch instances, select any of the AMI. We need to verify only EBS volume, right? So configure and choose in my EC2 instance only. Okay, next storage. If you see here, this is the boot volume. Under this one, if you see here, volume types we have. Okay, general purpose SSD volumes can be brushed 3000 IOPS. That is average they given. I mean minimum they given 3000 IOPS we will get. Okay, and deliver constant baseline per GB, and provisioned IOPS where SSD deliver up to maximum 64,000 IOPS they are giving. The EBS optimized instances. Yesterday we discussed about what is EBS optimized instances and instance store instances. And the third one is they are given magnetic volumes. There is no concept of HDD, that is cold HDD or throughput optimized HDD. That is not supported here. That's what they have mentioned in the. If you see, these both are general purpose. These are the provision. This is standard. The same thing they have mentioned here. This is not supported at the boot level. It is not supported at boot level. And keep one more thing, this EBS volume is mapping with 1 to 1 only, one instance. That means EBS volume, one volume to one instance. Okay, the volume we can't attach with the multiple EC2 instances. Okay, if you are attached to EC2 this EBS volume to one instance, that's it, you can't attach that volume into another EC2 instance, right? So let me launch this one. Yeah, this is what we are having, these three options. And coming to the encryption here, encryption. So the data which we are storing under this EBS needs to be encrypted at the rest, or else if any data is at transmit. So EBS volume means in this EBS volume the data will be on rest. That means it is on, we are storing in this EBS volume that needs to be encrypted for security purpose. Okay, with the help of KMS is nothing but key management service in AWS. Okay, with the help of this KMS key service we will create our own keys, or else for each and every services. That means wherever our data is there, assume this is EBS is we are storing our data. In the same way S3 also we are storing the data, and same way we have RDS or any other storage services is there in AWS, storage related services. We need to use KMS key. That is, by defaultly for each and every service AWS is provided one key. Okay, if you don't want to use AWS managed key, there is some other keys, that is customer managed keys, that we will use. We will create it and we will use. Okay, encryption is most important in the organization. Next, add tags. So add tag, I said right, tags is very important. Now what we'll do, environment, I have given the environment as, assume this is test. Okay, this is applicable for your instances and volumes or elastic network interface. So if you don't want to assign these tags to these other two things, only if you want to attach to the EC2 instance or only volume, then you can just enable, uncheck that one. Okay, choose security group, yes, review and launch, just launch. So meanwhile this will launch, we will go to again our volumes and we will see what else we have pending. Okay, previous generation. Okay, so what is the use cases also they have given here. The maximum ratio of provisioned IOPS to be provisioned volume is 500 IOPS per GB. Okay, yes, they have some calculation how we need to calculate what is the duration, what is the image volume size. If you don't have time, like if you want to just come, you need to just 250 GB of volume you need to take. What is the performance of IOPS you need to take, and what is the duration with the driving standard, it will choose for this one. Okay, this all they have given on a specific EBS volume size. Okay, Okay, before this, until this instance will come, we will see AWS pricing calculator. Okay, calculator.s3 is there. Amazon Web Service simply monthly calculator is there, right? We will see what is the difference between these two. If you see this one, this is something uh, world one. Earlier, we were supposed to use this one. This is not related to any account. This is open one, like anyone can use. If you use this one, see, this is specifically for any particular account, or you can open or you can create estimation from this one. So what is the estimation we need to do? EBS volume, right? So EBS, just configure. Okay, description, test, just assume test this one, and use any region which is suitable for your application. So for my case, I'm using Ireland. Okay, that's okay. Okay, okay, 730 hours, that is per month we are calculating. General purpose first we will see, and storage amount we will see in TBs. We will take 1 TB. Storage amount cannot be less than 0 or more than 30 terabytes. We don't want to go with 30 terabytes. I want to go with the 3 terabytes. Okay, and here we have a snapshots. We will discuss about snapshot after this calculator. Okay, what is the snapshots, how the snapshot will work, how many snapshots you want to take. I want to take daily only one. Okay, amount changed per snapshot. So we are specifying for each and every snapshot what is the snapshot, like new data is coming into reward snapshot. Assume only 1 GB. Okay, now what we'll do, and we have fast snapshot restore also and general restore also, both also we need to see. Okay, if you see here, somewhere around elastic block storage total monthly cost is around somewhere 492.27. okay, in the same one 492, right? Okay, and what we'll do, storage amount, same calculations we will save here, and we need to verify with provisioned apps. Okay, let's go here and use, instead of general purpose, just use provisioned apps. So provisioned IAPS, they are asking what is the IAPS you need to use. So 3 terabytes, right? We have used there 3 terabytes. What is the IAPS we are getting? We will see, verify in the general purpose. Same we will use here also, 3 terabytes. 3 terabytes means 9000 IAPS we are getting. So same 9000 IAPS only we will use in provisioned IAPS, and we will verify what is the cost we are getting. Storage amount, okay, 3 terabytes only. Daily amount snapshot is same. If you see here, it is the more than like thrice, right? EBS volume is stored in this one is approximately triple than what we are getting in the, this is for general purpose, that means GP2, and this is for IO1. See, 500 approximately, this is around 1200. It is more than 80%, 3 times approximately. So but the performance will be more high efficient in that one. Okay, so, but choice is ours. Not only for the CBS volume, if you want to calculate or anything, if you want to estimate, you can come here and you will provide what are the what calculations you want to give, and you can use this one as a, and you can add this on to your estimate, and you can verify this one. Okay, add service, any service whichever we have discussed till now, EC2 also you can calculate, right? Okay, dedicated host and EBS specifically. that we can calculate. Here also you can do the same thing. Elastic block storage somewhere here you can see. Okay, let it be. Let it be. You can verify that one. But this is the new one, right? So we'll go with the new one only. Just I want to show you this also. This is the old one, old calculator by AWS. Okay. Okay. This is the magnetic disk. Okay. Magnetic disk. There is no IOPS. They didn't given. They did not given. So if you see this one, right? These are the magnetic disks. Okay. This three comes under magnetic disk, and this is how our disks will be there in the data center also. And this needs to be rotating whenever you are getting the data. This needs to be rotate, and you will need to get the data. Okay, that is the reason they didn't given any IOPS. Okay, and this SDD is our actual our hard disk, like our memory cards is there, right? In the same way we will create. Okay, I will navigate to this EC2 mission. We will verify how the EBS volume will work and what is the snapshots, how this is working. Let's log into putty. Again, test server. Just save this and connect public IPv4. Okay, Control L. So now, yes, LSBLK to list the devices which I have. Okay, now I have only one disk. Only one disk, that is XPDA1 is partitioned. It is 8 GB. Under root volume it is mounted. So as we did yesterday, same quickly I'll create one more volume and I'll attach there and I will test that one. Okay, create volume. So I'll go with the general purpose only. I will use only 2 GB, and baseline will be, my baseline will be same 100 IOPS, and I need to verify. Oh, come on. Okay, I'll go back here, and I need to verify where is my instance is running. Okay, so this instance is running in which availability zone we need to verify, or else we will have issue with the in 1A it is running. Okay, so let me create in 1A. So in 1A only I'm creating. Okay, and just create volume. Now I created the volume. Okay, did we copy that command yesterday here somewhere? Let's see. I think it is not copied. Okay, so volume is created now. Just refresh this one. Yes, this is the above one. And if you see this one, this is the default volume. It does not have any snapshot. I mean, this is not a default volume. This we have created. Whenever we are creating the EC2 instance, along with the EC2 instance, one root volume is created of 8 GB. This is having a snapshot here. Okay, by default it is taking one snapshot. You can verify that snapshot here. Okay, yeah, it is not showing because of it is not owned by me, right? That is owned by AWS, that snapshot. So just click on public snapshots. So we are getting a lot of snapshots, and if you have any private snapshot, you don't have any snapshots, you are not created that snapshot. What you will do, you can go here volumes and you click on this one, not this one, and you fetch with the snapshot ID. You just copy or else you can click on the snapshot. It will navigate to your snapshot console, and you can see this is the snapshot console where you can find with this ID. No snapshots finding matching with your filter. I think we don't have any option. Yes. Okay, this is the public snapshot. It is created by the AWS. Okay. Now you can see here we have created one more volume. So that volume we need to attach to my running EC2 instance. Just modify or like attach volume. Okay, see only one server is running. Just attach this one. This device, this drive is as your choice. It is coming SDF, right? I can give anything F to P, in between any letter we can give, like in our computers D, A, B, C, C, D, E, like that F we will give, right? In this also, here also additional drive will start from F and ends with P. So this many drives only we will attach to our machines. So I can go with any any name, not only F. I will go with the P also, or J I will go. Okay, SDJ attach. So I have attached now, and need to verify that one whether it is working or it is showing or not. Just lsblk. See, xvdj is came. Xvdj is came. Now you need to mount that one. It is not at all showing in your disk. This is the only one it is showing how much it is utilized and what is the available storage. So to mount this one, first you need to make file system mkfs, and what is the type of file system is you need to mount, and the device name you need to give xvdj. So permission denied, so we need to use sudo. So now it is done. We have created this, and now what we need to do, we need to make this one to mount it to any one folder. Okay, mkdir make directory ebs volume. Okay, what I'll do, I will create this ebs volume under root. If I'm giving slash here, means it is root. Under root I'm creating ebs volume. So now I have created. Now I want to mount. What is the mount I want, which disk I want to do? xvdj and the volume where we need to mount. This is the directory. I mean, this is directory is nothing but one folder in as per our terminology. Just click on this one. See, it is mounted. Now you can verify with lsblk. It will show it is mounted on here. Okay, or you can just verify with df-h, and you can also verify with df-h capital T. That means type of the file system which we have mounted. This is the XFS file system we have given, mkfs-t xfs, right? So this is 2.0 GB. It is there now. So what I will do now here, first I will generate some, yesterday we have generated, right? The same way we will generate few temporary files, and we will create a snapshot from this. Then we will understand how the snapshots will work. Okay, so for that one, what I will do, so I equals to 1, and while $i f1 lt space ll, okay, do echo date file $i. and I'm giving sleep 3 seconds I'm giving, and I equals to dollar space dollar I plus 1. Okay, next, done. Integer expression expected. What is this here? Okay, bash fnll. Okay, while $lt 11 or 1. Okay, here I was given earlier L. Okay, in this place I need to give the integer. Okay, so now it is working. Let us see. Okay, so why I'm generating this one? So just we are verifying after creating the snapshots. Okay, so let us wait for this. Okay, this is done now. This is done now. You can verify here. Okay, this is created here. Okay, this is created here. Now what we need to do, I have created new volume, right? If I do lsblk EBS volume, just cd EBS volume. No, not like that. cd, just give enter EBS volume. Okay, now what I will do, before that I'll just move the data from there to here. Okay, okay, so just move file star to slash EBS volume. Okay, now you can see here, you can't see here, just you need to go and verify in the EBS volume. You can just click here. So I have this data, I have some data in my EBS volume, additional EBS volume, that is in this disk, in this 2 GB. Now assume that is your application data and you want to take a backup. How you will take the backup? You will come here and you will create a snapshot here. Create snapshot. So what you will give? So first snapshot. That means snap 1 we will give. Snap 1 we will go and just create snapshot. Okay, now I have closed this one. So first snapshot will take some time to create. I'll go and verify the snapshots. Okay, it is showing the progress also. Okay, snap 1, and I will navigate to the server and I will mount this one permanently. I will mount this one permanently in the VI etc FS tab. So this is the additional EBS volume. So if you are not mounting permanently in the VI etc tab, if you restart your server or stop and start, your VBS volume will be detached. Okay, for that reason what we need to get, the UUID of a particular disk -o plus capital UUID. So this is the my disk. For this disk, what is this UID? This is the UID. I'll get this UID, and this is the EBS volume. This also I need to have. So VI /etc /fs tab. If you see here, this is for which volume? Under root, right? This is the default volume. Same way I need to, come on, just a moment, I selected that one. That will be copied in Linux. If you do like this, it will be copied to current one. So I need to copy this one. Okay, and I will edit again. So in Linux there is a shortcut is there. If you want to copy this entire line to new one, just press YYP. If you press YYP, it will copy. And if you want to edit now, just press I. If you are pressing insert mode, it will go. If you see here, insert mode is there here. Just navigate to this and delete this one. We need to replace with the new EBS volume UUID, additional EBS volume UUID. So just click, right click, and where we mounted that one, under EBS volume, EBS volume, and remaining thing, FF is the file system, and remaining thing, let it be. Escape and press colon WQ is to save and quit. Now you have came out. Now what you will do? Now we have taken already snapshot one. Now we have taken snapshot one. After we giving, we have some files here, right? Some files here we have, and it is created. Now what we will do? Now is Ctrl L and use the same command which we have used above. Okay, while I equals to, okay, what we will do now, just to copy this one, okay, and press copy and Ctrl L. Now what we will do, I equals to 10, we will give. Now here what we will do, we will give here 20 instead of 11, or 21 we will give. Again it will generate 10 more files here. Okay, let's wait for some time. It will create another 10 more files, and we will see why I'm creating this one, right? So I want to explain you, the snapshots are incremental backup. Okay, incremental backup, it will take the data of previous one and as well as exist one, both one it will take. If you are creating multiple snapshots, like which snapshot you want to keep and which snapshot you want to delete, and how the data will be stored and backed up. That's the reason I want to show you this one. Okay, if you press LL now, you can see here, earlier only we have 1 to 10, now 11 to 20 also it is generated. So now what we will do, we'll go again to this EBS EC2 instance. It is EC2 instance, yes, and EBS volumes, right? Come on, EBS volumes, go to the volumes and click on this one, actions, just create snapshot. Description, what you will give, snap2, create snapshot, close. So second snapshot will come with very quickly it will come snapshot. Okay, snap2 and snapshot. First one is, it will take some time, second one it will complete very fast. So snap1, right, I'll give here also name snap1. Here also will give snap2. Okay, now assume, now I have deleted first snapshot. Assume I have deleted first snapshot. Yes, I have deleted now I have only one snapshot. From this snapshot, again I can create a volume and I can restore the data, and I can attach these two like same general purpose, and whatever the GB, I mean 2 GB is there defaultly. If you want to go with 3 GB or 4 GB, yes, you can increase that also. Okay, whatever the existing one is having, you can go with that one also. Just I have created now here EBS volume. Just I go to the volumes, and attach volume. Which instance you need to attach, just choose that one. What is the device here? Earlier we attached to J, right? After J K, we will go with the K now. K or else L also will go. Anything, any device, that is your choice, any disk device. Okay, I just want to show you whether the data is exist or not. Now what we will do, before okay, so now I can show you lsblk. we have xvdl also we have attached. In this one we need to have the data or not, we need to verify. Okay, for that one what we need to do, first again same thing. Okay, mkdir create a folder, that is restore or backup volume. Okay, snap volume we can create, snap volume under root only we will create. Okay, snap volume I have created. Now mkfs make file system of type xfs. We have like this is a purely Linux commands. Okay, slash dev slash xvdl. What is this? Contain an existing file system. Okay, l I given. Okay, sorry, I need to. Okay, already this file system is already this CBS volume already it's having file system. You don't want to do any file system again here. Okay, that's what we need to keep in mind. We'll just create a directory and we will mount this one. That's it. Dev xvdl to which one? Snap volume. Mount snap volume wrong file system type bad option, bad super block type extruder, missing a code page or helper program or other error. Okay, we'll do mount, or else what we'll do, make file system again we will just overwrite with the f and xfs with dev xvdl. Okay, invalid option. I can see file name block compute size f ft. Dev xvdl appears to contain an existing file system. Okay, then you need to mount it right directly. Okay, then mount hyphen mount is not required, I think. Dev xvdl and slash snap volume. Missing code page or helper. Just a moment, we will verify what is the issue here. Bad option, wrong fs type, bad option, super block. Okay, mount to, whenever we are mounting it is coming like this. Okay, so what is the error we need to give? mkfs dot ext4 for dev xvdl. Okay, now we'll do lsblk. Okay, create without creating any file system by creating new partition. Okay, it needs to be displayed here. Writing super blocks and file system mounting option done. Okay, allocation also it is done. Now what we need to do, we need to mount this one directly without any file system. Dev xvdl to snap volume. Now it is done. So what we need to do here, extra step, we need to just make a file system and we need to mount this. Now we will verify with the lsbl caption. It is mapped to snap volume. This is a new directory. Just navigate to new directory, cd slash snap volume and just press ll. So last plus font only we are getting here. I think we need to restore from the snapshot. That option we did not. Go to the snapshots. Okay, actions, manage fast restore. Okay, manage fast restore. So which availability zone you want to restore this one? US East 1A only. Additional charges may apply. 0.7 per hour per snapshot per availability zone. For example, the price. Okay, like this you need to just save this one, then only it will be restored into your specific snapshot. So the main intention is I want to show you here, even if you are taking per day, why I have created multiple snapshot here, just to schedule this one. I mean, assume you are having only two EBS volumes, then you will take it. But if you are having 100 EBS volumes, you want to take at every day 8 p.m. Every day at 8 p.m. or 10 p.m. you want to take EBS volumes for your 200 EBS volumes. If you are taking for the each and every volume you are taking manually, it is taking minimum 10 seconds to create. If you are taking for 200 volumes means 2000 seconds, it is approximately 20 minutes it will take, but it's not at the same time. You want to start at same time, we need to use lifecycle manager. Just create a lifecycle policy. What it will do, before, like earlier days, we don't have any this lifecycle policy. That time what we need to do, we need to write our own custom policies, and we need to create give the EBS volumes, fetch the instance metadata, and take the volumes. That and all we were doing. Now it is, life is more simpler. Just data lifecycle manager enables you to automate the creation, retention, and copy and deletion. So creation, nothing but just create the snapshot. Retention, how many days you want to keep, what is the retention period, or how many days or how many number of snapshots you want to keep. If you want to copy to from this EBS volume or snapshot from this region, I mean snapshot, not EBS volume, snapshot to from this region to another region, and after that how many days you want to keep and delete this one. Okay, this all we are having with the help of this life cycle policy. Okay, here you can see EBS snapshot policy, only EBS snapshot. Okay, so for which one you want to take, either volume you want to take or instance you want to take. So for my case, volume only. So description, so taking backup, and see here target with these tags. Okay, I mentioned, right, with the tags we are giving. I have 200 EBS volumes, how can I go with that? So if I want to mention two EBS volume IDs, it is not a good idea. That is the reason, if whatever the tag is there, environment and name is there, so I will go with the environment. What is the environment I given? Test. Okay, whatever the instance or I mean EBS volume is having the ID of I mean tag of environment test, then you can go and take the backup, I'm telling. Okay, and IAM role, this we will discuss later, but as of now we will go with the default volume only. If you see here EC2 management console, navigate to the volumes, we are taking the backups for volume only, right? If you see, I have three volumes. I'll just go up in the settings, somewhere here I can see. Okay, or else I'll choose this one. If you see the tags here, see for this volume I don't have any tag. For this volume also I don't have any tag, but I have tags for only this volume. So what it will do, if the tag is matched, environment test is there, then it will take for this volume as a backup at the defined timeline. So IAM role is just to take a backup. It is like assumption, it will be associated with the appropriate permission. So IAM roles is a very important concept. IAM is very important concept in AWS that we will discuss later. So for now we will go with the default role, which is created by default AWS. Coming to the policy schedule one. So here we have two things, like daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, or if you have any cron job, if you want to write, see here daily is there. Daily, how many, like what is the frequency you want to take at hourly, or 2, 3, 8, 12, like what is the frequency you want to take, that you can give. Starting at what is the time you want to start, and this is the main important. Retention count or age. Count means I want to keep only 30 snapshot of this EBS volume. If 31 volume is creating, first snapshot you need to delete. That is the count here I am mentioning. Okay, I'll give 30 volumes. Or if I take age, if the snapshot age is older than 30 days or 7 days, see here days is there, or else weeks. If it is 1 week or 2 weeks, I will give then you keep only 2 weeks of snapshots. If it is older than that 2 weeks, then it won't keep. It will by defaultly it will delete it. Okay, tagging information. If you want to give the tags these two snapshots, then you can go and tag this one, or else copy tags from the source. Source is nothing but our EBS volume. Whatever the snap tag is there for EBS volume, that will be copied to this one. So keep remember, always you need to give the snapshots tags. Any snapshot are easy to. If you want to restore your data, you need to enable. If you have some other requirement, if you want to quickly restore, then we have an option here, enable fast restore. And if you want to copy from Ireland region to another region for any backup for disaster recovery, then you can just enable cross region copy, and you need to give the details which region you want to copy. This is the own region. So you want to give a target region. Any region you can give. How many copies you want to keep, or how many days you want to keep your snapshots over there. Whether you need to have enable or disable encryption. Okay. If you want to enable, what is the key you need to choose? EBS, this is the default key I have, so I need to choose that one only. And the tags also it is given. And there is one more option also. I am copying within the region from Ireland to Paris region. If I want to transfer my snapshots, my this if I don't want to copy within the region, I want to copy to my another production account. Assume this is my non-production account. I want to copy to the production account. Just enable this one and get the account ID of your production ID, production account ID, and just go and give that one. Okay, account ID you'll get from this one. Okay, that option also we have. This is entirely automated one. Okay, if you have any other policies, like you have created weekly policy, if you want to create monthly policy or daily policy or 6 months once policy, that multiple policies you can create and you can just give it here. So here it is policy summary 1. It is telling every 12 hours starting from 9 UTC time. Don't forget this is under UTC time. There is no option to modify into IST time. So the snapshot will be retained for 2 weeks. As per the our policy here we given, it is showing as a summary policy status after creation. If you want to just create and keep it with you, then you will go and disable this policy. And if you want to enable, you can just enable while creating, or else you can create policy later also you can enable this policy. There is an option to enable that one. Okay, so this is how you can automate the snapshots. Why we need to create? So in interviews they will ask what is the snapshot and what is the difference between AMI and snapshot. Where we will take the AMIs, already we have taken and we have created instances. So for AMI we will take the backup at instance level. We will take backup in the form of AMI like this. Just go to the actions, go to image and template, click on create image, and image name you can give any image name, my AMI, and you can give the any description if you want, and just create image. Okay, so always you don't want to take AMI backup, because if you have any operating system or operating system related any OS level any upgrades you are doing, then only you go and choose the AMI backup. Until unless you don't want, then you will go with only EBS volume snapshots. Okay, but choice is yours. And yes, and they will ask about snapshots. What is snapshot? Snapshot is a backup of my EBS volume. So these snapshots are incrementally EBS volumes are incrementally backed up with the help of these snapshots, and you can restore in the same region or cross account also. You can see here, this is my snapshot, right? Create volume. I can create volume, or I can modify permissions. That means I am giving permissions to another account, or copy to any other destination region. See, any other I am giving, it will go and copy. While copying, do you want to give encryption? If you want to give encryption, just give this volume and just do that one. That is how this snapshot will work. snapshots, how you need to create snapshots. Okay, if you come here and if you see EBS snapshots, create snapshot, delete snapshot, snapshot encryption, and yes, how to create multiple volume snapshots. So just go through this document, you will able to understand easily. Just take given, open the console, choose the snapshots under EBS navigation, and which create snapshot under which volume you want to create. Tags and another description is optional here. How to view the snapshot information? You can view the snapshot information from the console, or else you can use the command line interface. Still now we didn't discuss about command line interface, but if you use this command, just you will able to figure out what is the snapshot information. Okay, yes, that's it. Share snapshots. Yes, we saw how to share the snapshot to another account. Okay, access snapshot, local snapshots on outpost, automate the snapshot like life cycle. With the help of lifecycle manager, we can automate the snapshots of either age or retention or count. With the help of that, we have done. Yes, again we can create with the help of this custom role. They are telling only to communicate with EC2 role and EC2 under the EBS volume only. Create tags, enable rules. What is the events it needs to allow? This is under IAM that we will see whenever we are creating IAM. Okay, that's it. That's it, guys. How to create a snapshot and what are the different types of volumes and how to schedule your lifecycle manager policy. Okay, so now my lifecycle manager policy is created, but it is in disabled mode. How to enable this one? Just go to actions, modify policy. Just click on modify policy and go down, navigate down to the bottom. There you will find enable policy, right? This is how you can just update policy. It will enable. Don't forget to delete whatever the service you are created. I am repeating maximum always. Okay, just update policy, enable update policy. So yes, it is giving just a kind of pop-up. So this policy will create a snapshot of the tagged EBS instance volumes. So assume if you deleted that instance, the EBS volume also will delete, and there is no EBS volume tags. If there is no tags, it won't take any volumes. Okay, if it is matches with the criteria, then only it will do that one. Okay, just cancel this one. Okay, I don't want to create my EBS volumes at the moment as a automated one. I don't have any automated policies. Okay, just delete policy like this. You need to delete. So whatever the action you are doing, whatever the action you are, I mean whatever the, even AMI also, it will occupy some space in this your account. So for that each and every space also they will charge. For that reason, just go to the actions and deregister your AMI. So it will deregister from, and it won't be appear no more. It will be appear. And if you even for the snapshot also 2 GB they will charge for you. Okay, for any storage or any other activities you are doing in AWS, just keep in mind you are deleting that one. 2 GB and 3 GB, this will delete or not? It will delete because it does not have any dependency. The same way, if you are trying to delete volumes, it won't delete because it is already mounted to your EC2 instance. It won't delete, it will give error. But here we have an option called force detach volume. Sometimes if you are doing this force detach, your instance may won't work. So that is the reason you just come here, just execute umount command. I think this is disconnected. Okay, you just use umount, that is unmounting of your volume. Come on, just umount. After that you come here and force detach if you want to detach it. Okay, and finally to delete, your EC2 mission. Just come here, choose that instance. Yes, actions, not actions. Instance state, terminate your instance. This is how you need to clean up your all the resources, or else your billing dashboard will be day by day it will be increasing. You need to pay the amount to Amazon AWS. You need to pay the money. So see 64 yesterday and today it is increased my bill. So what is the reason? I need to verify here. So just go to the bill details, and I'll navigate to EC2 where I charged here. EC2 Elastic Compute Cloud under North Elastic Ireland only. Yes, if you see here, yesterday I have created one instance from the spot instances, right? Not spot instances. With the help of instance store I have created M5AD large instance per hour. So 0.115 per on-demand Linux instance. I have run 0.678 hours. That means they have charged partial hours also. And T2 small also I have created, but there is some I don't know why they didn't charge, but yes. So make sure somewhere here VPC zone 2. What is this? T2 micro Linux Unix Spot instances. Okay, I have used Spot instances. Okay, yes, Spot instance also I have run 24.613 hours. So what I have done a mistake here, and I have created that Spot request. I have created the request, I didn't delete it. Okay, I deleted the instance only, but I didn't deleted the Spot request. So what is happening? See, this one is cancelled now. Earlier it was there, it was there. That is the reason it was in this was in requested, that is success mode. That is the reason that instance was creating yesterday also it is created. I deleted from the EC2 instance console, but it is deleted because of this Spot instances is requested. Okay, actions, cancel request. So terminate instances it will do. If any instance is there, it will terminate also. Okay, it will go for that reason. For the Spot instances per hour also they have charged. I have run 24.613. They have used only $0.09 per 24 hours. Okay, Spot instances, even though it is very less. If I was used any other instances, it would have around some $1.18. Then it will be, my bill will be double than this one. Okay, make sure you are creating and deleting